Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your crumpets together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with big meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with big meat. It's time to dish tea with big meat. It's time to dish tea with big meat. It's time to dish tea with big meat.
Darling. And hello to you and you. Hello. I thought I was going to do my Melba Moore impression, honey, try to hold this damn thing for like a 64 count, knowing that I can't. But what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, tea sippers, crumpet dunkers, tea brewers, pot stirrers, and tea leaf readers? What's going on in all of your worlds, baby, honey? It's another glorious day, honey, so I know you have all of your crumpets together because, my darlings, it's time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea, darlings, with big meat. Now, listen to me. I'm going to be getting up and down and carried on because I'm still trying to cook something. I waited too damn long, but I had this taste, honey. I've been having this taste for, I was going to make some cheeseburger macaroni. Now, I do cheat when I'm doing it on, because, I get the box macaroni, whatever. But, box macaroni ain't cheesy. I don't care what Kraft says or whatever. It ain't the cheesiest because I have to then do my own little do-I-diddy, okay? So we add like 3 or 4 different cheeses too, and I use ground turkey, and we get everything together, and then we mix it all up. I put mushrooms and onions and bell pepper, carrying on, stir it all together. Now, depending on my mood, other times I would then take it and put it in the oven, and then take it and do an egg wash on the top, like we do with regular macaroni and cheese, and then a little bit more cheese on the top so it can brown up really cutely, and then let it bake for maybe about 10-15 minutes to give it that little caramelized little thing, give me those edges and carrying on. Baby, yes. Oh, but I didn't do all that. I didn't do all that. What I am doing though, I was making that along with some of my spicy, cheesy cornbread. Okay, now this here I got the idea from my play cousin, Miss Tanera Lynn Fox. When we first met, child, and carried on, this girl made this goddamn cornbread, honey. And at that particular time, we were getting cheeses and stuff from Figgy and from Swiss Colony. Baby, that girl made this goddamn cornbread, honey, and I swear to you, honey, that the cornbread itself is a meal. So then I've taken what I thought she did, honey, and I've made my own little spin on it. So now we take, all these different kinds of cheeses and carrying on, and I put, usually I put some bell pepper in it, but I'm out of bell pepper today, so I had some sweet, hot jalapeno peppers. Put that up in there, baby. Use a little bit of buttermilk and some milk. See, and then I cheated on this because I didn't make the cornbread from scratch, but I'm using Jiffy, so you always have to doctor. So because I'm using Jiffy, it said add a 1/4 cup of milk, right, for each box. So what I did was I added a 1/4 cup of milk, and then I added a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. So we get that buttermilk flavor. Oh, honey. Then we sat down there, and I got my seasoning. See, you add. See, I got my little special blend of seasoning. Okay, now I try not to cook with a lot of salt these days, but I do have some pink Himalayan salt. And then I got some black salt that is absolutely, because it doesn't require a lot. And the pink Himalayan salt, it has the consistency of like coarse salt or whatever. And I'm telling you, sweetie, when we do all that, it is absolutely fantastic. So I use a little bit of that. Then I got some sazon. And the one in the red one, the orange and red pack. Yeah, I got that. Not the bright yellow one, the orange and red one, because that's for the fruits and vegetables. I use that along with some black pepper and some red pepper and carrot. Yeah, this is gonna be some spicy cornbread, honey. I'm telling you, a little thyme. Oh, honey, a little thyme and the cornbread, just a little bit, just to sit down. Oh, honey, little Italian season, some oregano. Oh, honey, little parsley. What, baby? Just put all that up in this little cornbread, baby. And then you take a can of cream style corn. Just one can. Mix all that up, baby. Ooh, child. When I tell you, I got it in the oven right now. So when I tell you I got to go check on my bread, honey, understand I'm going to throw a commercial on and I'm going to run over here to check on this damn bread. Because yeah. And you got to, when I tell y'all this, here's another ingredient that I put in, because I have some special Patti LaBelle hot sauce. Okay, I got her Superwoman, and I bought that from the company because they had discontinued that particular one. So I had bought like 2 cases of it. So I still have some. So you can cook with that because it's hot. It is really hot, and you can't sit up there and use it like you're doing Louisiana carrying on for those of you who like hot, because you get to throwing that stuff on there like it's everything. It'll burn not only your ass, honey, it's gonna burn you into the next century. So you use just a little bit of that because you want the flavor, okay? Just the flavor and just a little bit of heat. Now I told you I already put sweet jalapeno peppers in here already. So we got a little bit of that, and it's going to help to balance out with all the thyme and the sazon and this, that, and the other, and it's going to bring all the cheeses together. Ooh, wow. So yeah, so I got that in the oven right now. So all of that to say, darling, yes. So it is just another glorious day, honey. So I'm glad that you guys are all here and carrying on. I'm still trying to get my world together. Y'all know how I do. I think this is becoming my shtick as far as trying to get this and trying to get that and carrying on, because I had all this stuff together, but now that it's showtime, we're trying to re-put it together. How about that? But in any event, and in any case, currently, we're going to ride solo tonight. So I'm going to need y'all to sit down here and be very vocal with me today, because if I start to feel as though that I'm talking too much for my own good, when I'm going to get sick and tired of hearing my own ass talk, I'm going to shut it down. But we're waiting on Big Red to come on up in. Y'all know Aunt Nikki's still in Philadelphia handling some family business. So we're going to send her well wishes and carrying on for her sanity and those kinds of things, so that when she comes back, she can be refreshed and give us what's what. So that there is going to be that. However, today's show, my darlings, I'm calling today's show, All My Skin Folk Ain't My Kinfolk. Okay? All my skin folk ain't my kinfolk. Okay? Now, the reason why this is so significant, and I know this is going to spark a lot of debate and carrying on with everything, because y'all know we're still on the coattails of all of what's going on with the Breonna Taylor case and the lack thereof. Okay. However, if you were watching on our yesterday's show, and I played for you guys what Tamika Mallory had said and her comments about the prosecutor, the DA and the Attorney General, that has went on and did his little things or whatever. And so she has mentioned in there, that, hey, just because you black and carrying on, all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk. That was something that she had said in there. And that there is something that we, particularly in the black community, have been saying a lot of times when we feel as though someone has been a sellout, someone has done something to go against what black folks feel you have gone against what we're standing for, or you have set up and become, and as she told him, you have been used by the system to bring your people down. Okay. However, what I want to do is I want to focus and take a little twist with this, because not only do we want to talk about about those who selling out, but I want to take that across the board, because I know there are times where our Caucasian counterparts feel the same way about Caucasian folks, because back in the day, if there were white folks who stood by black folks and carrying on, they were constantly called nigger lovers back in the day. Okay, and that they were going against their people, and that how could you do this? And even now, a lot of those who identify as any of those particular people, white supremacists, Aryan Nation, the white separatists, the white nationalists, and what's the children? The alt-right, all those children, okay? Anybody with that particular ideology, they end up feeling as though those who are contrary to their beliefs, they feel as though they've become sellouts and that they are traitors to their race. So what is it about you? What do you say about all of this, and how do you feel? Now, Tanya Bullitt, you are sitting up here throwing up names up in here, honey. So are these names of people you feel are sellouts? Because I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. Let me go to the comments and see what's going on. Roll to Stardom. Hey, what's up, baby? What you know no good? Okay, Amy is in the house. Hey. You're getting fancy with your opening. Oh, you just not seeing the opening, Mary? Child, that thing has been up there for a little piece of a minute. Okay, since we started, actually. Hey, kitty girl, what's going on? Okay, Fabian Soul is in the house. What's up, bruh? Okay. Jewel Jones, you says. Okay. Curtisine Bars. Okay. Terrell, what you say? Sure as hell not. Okay, baby. Vince Black. Okay, Tanya. Now, Tanya, you got a lot of names that you throwing up here. Okay, Eric. What you say? What up, Joe, baby? What up, though, baby? Did you see I'm talking? Thank you. Okay, we put that right here, and I got the cornbread on. So just okay. So that there was that. Okay. So talk to me, Tanya, since you're throwing out names and carrying on. What is it that you feel about these names? And let's get into this discussion. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up with a twist, because let's stay on the thing of all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk. Okay, I'm going to play something for y'all that I'm sure you heard before, and many of you have already heard this, but some of you may be new to this. It's a news story that happened not too long ago, and let's just go here, and let me play it, and then we're going to get into it when we come back.
We show you surveillance photos like these all the time, and maybe you recognize the person in the video, but your eyes can deceive you even about your own child. Yeah, that's really true. And tonight we actually show you a stunning local case that will make you scratch your head a little bit and wonder if what you just saw was indeed real. And it also illuminates what prosecutors say is a real problem. Eyewitness accounts. They say they're so unreliable, they may just be the worst kind of evidence.
In 2010, he held up multiple tri-state banks, and the surveillance video hit probably every newscast in Cincinnati.
It's something you would see in a Hollywood movie. I don't think any of us has seen anybody do anything like this.
He talks about killing cops.
This is the bank robber.
We believe to be an African-American male.
Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieter says people were convinced they knew this guy.
We had it on video.
They pointed at the same guy, the same house. They were sure it was this man.
We put out a Crime Stoppers tip, and we got about 5 or 6, 7 phone calls. I know that guy. He lives on this street. He lives in this particular house. And when the detectives went to that house, they knocked on the door. His mom answered it. She said, "I know why you're here. I just saw on television my son robbing a bank."
This is that woman's son. Take a look. He looks incredibly like the guy in the surveillance video. Police took the son, whose identity we were not given, into custody. Then they got a call from another woman who said they had the wrong guy, that it was her boyfriend who robbed the bank, and this is her boyfriend, Conrad Zerdiak.
Actual perpetrator was white as could be. He had bought a theatrical mask from Beverly Hills, which cost a few $1,000s, and it's very lifelike, and he had it on, and it looks like the guy they called Crime Stoppers about.
I mean, his mom said.
His mother said it.
He did it.
He did it. It looked just like her son.
Sunglasses covered Zerdiak's blue eyes. Gloves covered his hands.
That just tells you don't believe what you see all the time, because you could be dead wrong.
Joe Dieters will no longer take one person's word for it, ever since this man was wrongly imprisoned for rape based on one person's identification.
You can't rely solely on identification. It's a recipe for some type of disaster. And I think a disaster is an innocent person in prison.
He says eyewitness accounts are the worst kind of evidence.
I would consider identification as one piece of evidence. It should never be the only piece of evidence.
Well, Conrad Zerdiak will be in prison for that robbery and other robberies until 2035. And we want to show you something. The prosecutor let us borrow this. This is the mask used in that crime. It has been sitting at my desk now for about a week, freaking everyone out.
The whole newsroom's been
yeah, I
talking
mean,
about
it's really, it's unbelievably lifelike. And the poor guy who just happened to look like it did nothing wrong. Right. Absolutely nothing wrong. But this thing, you can look him up. You can buy them several $100s, thousands of dollars.
And there are several cases actually across the country where it is thought that people are using these types of masks,
Hollywood masks,
to get away with crimes. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
really
I'll
remarkable.
attest to the creepy part. I'll
It
tell you
does.
that.
It sure
much.
is.
Very
But
realistic.
It does also question, like, you got to question what you see. Did you really see that? His mom thought it was him, and it wasn't.
All right, and we are back. We are back. Okay. Now, how about that? You want me to share that link for you? Okay, I will. I gotta maneuver it. Okay. The whole idea that I want to talk about, and I want to come from this particular angle, is because oftentimes, we, particularly in our community, we're quick to say somebody has sold us out. We're quick to say that somebody has given us the shaft. That we quick. Y'all don't know the right word for Uncle Tom, honey, but y'all quick to call somebody Uncle Tom, and all of those shenanigans and things of that nature. But here, let's take this and let's look at it from a broader perspective, because we're gonna break this on down. I wanted to start here because oftentimes is seen truly believing. Okay, just like they're saying about eyewitnesses and carrying on, and the fact that this child has set up here and paid for Hollywood style prosthetics, okay, to where it looks like it's real and carried on, just coming up on it, not questioning and carrying on, of course, wearing the dark shades and the dark sunglasses and all of that, to cover the eyes. And, if you're going up in there to do crime or whatever, you're going to have gloves on to protect your hands so that you don't, quote unquote, leave fingerprints and all of that. Okay. But all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk. Okay. So now, let's go here. Let's talk about sellouts. Let's talk about those who most of us will feel our embarrassment to the race, who folks are feeling as if, because you have an arbitrary opinion to the masses, that something's wrong with you. Okay. So, let's go there. Vince done said something. Come on. Okay. Oh, you were inviting folks. That's what you were doing, Tasha. Oh, Tanya. Okay. We as people will never get a fair shake in this demonic system. We are an unloved minority and have been damaged to the point of massive self-loathing. I like that. Okay, but here's the thing, Vince. Okay, we know this, and we know what the symptoms are. What is it that we need to do to bring ourselves out of it? How do we come out of it? What is the process? Or are we allowing the process to happen? Because one of the things that I teach people is that the process is sandpaper for the soul, okay? But one of the things about the process is that it's got to run its course. The process has got to run its course. And oftentimes what happens, we as people, we get in our feelings, we get caught up, we get emotionally attached to other people. We waiting on affirmation and confirmation, you know, from other people, and we get stuck. And because we're stuck, we will then, you know, we will hinder the process. And then when the process starts to take root, it got to start over because it's a course, it's a cycle. It doesn't pick up where it left off. It's got to now start over so that it can purge and get everything out. How many of y'all, I use the analogy of the sandpaper. Sandpaper and things, how many of y'all have painted before? Okay. When you go paint and you're trying to, instead of gunking the wall up with more coats of paint, you know, sometimes it's too much and you want to start over. So in order to get it, you got to sandpaper it down. You got to blast it, right? So what happens? You got to put the work in, because now the paper is got to go, and it's got to go up under all of that. It's got to scrub it all off. Now, as humans, we can stop, you know, when we get tired, and we can pick up where we left off. But the process itself, a spiritual process or a cleansing process, doesn't happen. And then you do know that with the process, in order to sandpaper stuff down, you got to go with the grain and not against the grain. Because if you go against the grain of the wood, you will fuck up the wood, right? You have to go with the grain so that you could strip properly and get it down to its luxurious finish. Correct? And that's the same thing that the process has to do whenever we're going through anything that we're going through, whether it's trauma, whether it is good tidings and carrying on, to the process has to go through so that we can shine and come out on the other side of a better person. But oftentimes we get stuck and get distracted, and the process has to start over and then catch it up. Okay, well, not catch up, it just has to start over and then run its course. You understand? So in that particular, using that, how do we then let the process become the process without falling for the distractions, without falling for the pitfalls and stuff that we already know that they're there? We've been dealing with it for so long. We already know that the pitfalls are already there because we talk about them all the time. We know what the setup is, but yet we sucker ourselves and play ourselves because we fall for them all the time. Now let's go back to here, because see, we have people like Daniel Cameron. How about Candace? What's Candace's last name? I can't even call her name because her. Okay, Candace Owens. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We have everybody now to put Herschel Walker, you know, into that category. They have put, if y'all follow YouTube, y'all know the Hodge twins. They're very cute, but a lot of folks have put them in that category. You know, Stacey Dash, they put Stacey in that category. You know, what about Diamond and Silk, the two black girls who have been the loudest black mouthpieces for the current administration? Okay, y'all know the two biological sisters, you know, that was stumped for Trump. You remember during this campaign, that was the two stumped for Trump. Okay, and they were doing all that craziness and all that buffoonery and carrying on. And yes, I'm going to call it buffoonery because, damn it, before anybody jumped on that bandwagon, they were on it, and I always felt that they were paid to do it. And even now, did they get a job in the administration? As much campaigning as they were doing for that motherfucker, did they get a job? Did they prosper in any way that we know of? What is that? Because see, so far as I'm concerned, I don't think that they did. I just think that they were mouthpieces. And here's where we are. Oftentimes, and we've said this and we know this, whenever the bigger conglomerates and the bigger organizations and stuff have something out there, you know, let me take the LGBT community because that's mine, okay? Well, let me just say that I'm a part of it, okay? I'm a part of it because I am a black gay man, okay, or a gay black man, whichever, however order we're gonna put it in for the sake of all of this. Most of the time, a lot of the discriminations and the fights and stuff that we have to continue to deal with in the rest of the world, it's even more marginalized within the alphabet children, because now you would think that a community that is already ostracized will show compassion for everybody else, but we don't. Okay, and not only that, we have been divided so heavily to where each subculture has a subculture. Okay, how about that? Okay, now we already gay, but now gay is body beautiful and this, that, and the other. But then you got the big boy. Then the big boys done broke themselves down. You thick, you chubby, you super chub. It's so many different compartments and carried on. Okay, but what happens is that, wait a minute, I saw this comment and I just lost my train of thought. Shit. Oh, where was I going? Fuck. I just lost my train of thought because I got distracted over here. See what I'm talking about with distractions? We get distracted and then we can't focus on the prize. Okay. And oftentimes, that's where I was. We are wonderful. Okay, and I got my point back. Blacks are wonderful whenever we are out there on the front line, because they need us for the numbers. They need us to show that we are a united front. Okay, look at the women's movement. The women's movement did not include black women, but they had black women out there doing all the goddamn hollering and fighting and shit. You know, we were the ones in front of the cameras and carrying on, telling them that, okay, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 and neck rolling and things, because we were compassionate. We are very passionate people when it comes down to injustice. Our people we are a social justice community and things of that nature. You understand? So when we go and get to attacking the issues, then it becomes, okay, that's fine. But now when it comes down to the finances, when it comes down to the services that carry it on, we don't benefit from it. We don't benefit from all that. You understand? And so then it becomes, okay, let's take the alphabet children. Y'all wonder why there's two different prides. Well, hell, the regular pride, honey, get all of the sponsors, they get all of this, and they get all of that. And when they do it, they're like, okay, we've already contributed to gay pride. Why does it have to be black gay pride? Okay. Then when you go through explaining, well, listen, because during gay pride month or whatever, our issues and our needs don't do this and blah, 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 blah. And so, you know, we are a specific culture, and the bigger conglomerate doesn't cater to us. You know, we get shut out. So we have to put on our own. So then our finances get limited, the sponsorship get limited and carrying on, and then it becomes a whole big to-do. But what it does is not only does it create the divide, but then you have all of the bickering, because now our hetero attractional folks are like, all this gay shit, here y'all go. You know, didn't we just have pride? Why we got to have it? Then it becomes all of that contention. You understand? And so then when we get the contention, and we're like, okay, come on, y'all, let's educate the folks. Let's sit up there and let's have a conversation. We don't get the participation from mainstream. You understand? Why our white counterparts don't do that, but our white counterparts will be the first to tell black folks that our struggle is the same, which is why black folks get mad about folks saying that the LGBT and the human rights movement and the civil rights movement are one and the same, or they are similar. And black folks get mad about that, but then y'all won't hear it from me. So I'm using that as an example, because when we get down to it and going out there to fight, we already know the pitfalls, but we get sucked into them because we end up becoming part of their numbers out there rallying, out there protesting, and this, that, and the other. But then when it comes down to the economics of it, we don't benefit from it. So then our community is there. That's why the ghettos look like the ghettos, because we don't get it. Then we'll get that one person who said, okay, we need to come and help the ghettos on this, that, and the other, and they would build a program that we would take advantage of the programs, but the programs are temporary. The programs are designed to keep you in the cycle. They're not designed to push you up. They're designed to keep you in the cycle. And then who runs it? Because do any of us get involved in the program? No, not in the paid position. You can volunteer. You can volunteer. You can help spread the word that this is what we're doing. But when they put that organization together, honey, in order to get their funding, part of the budget is they created a job. So that's a nonprofit. That's the nonprofit sector to say that I can create a $50,000 a year job for myself as the director of this department, and I need a staff, and we need this and we need that. So they could create the job, but then nobody from the community that it serves are working there unless they volunteer. Okay, so all of that, my skin folk ain't my kin folk. Do we sell out because the one black child who gets up in there, now he know the game and this, that, and the other? Do we sell out, or are we a sellout? What is the difference between the sellout and a successful individual? Okay, what happens? Why is it that every time somebody gets successful or becomes successful and they come and they move out the hood, they may move to the suburbs or whatever, the first thing that we do is say that they done got bougie? Oh, you done got some money now, so you done got bougie. Why is it that we always got to say somebody that got bougie instead of accepting the fact that they've matriculated and doing better for themselves? What is the difference? I have an answer, but I want to hear y'all. Let me do this because I got to go. I told you I got to go check my bread. Hold on. Let me run the commercial. I'll be right back. Let me go check this bread real quick. And yeah, baby. Put your comments down there because I'm coming to y'all. Gabriel, I see you. And Eric, I know you got something to say. So I'm going to come back to y'all in just a couple seconds. Be bold. Be unique. Be the tea. With a unique body oil fragrance from the Sensuality Fragrance Collection. The Sensuality Collection embodies a unique array of customized original scents created by Big Meech. Indulge yourself in such fragrances as eye candy, foreplay, anticipation, shower fresh, naked beauty, or pay homage to the motherland and choose an oil from our exclusive Wakanda collection. Over 17 different scents that will tantalize your senses. Order yours today. Log on to www.dishingtea.com for more information. Because remember, it's all about the tea. Sensuality, that is. All right, and I'm back. Okay, yes, my bread is out, honey, so that's cute, okay? The bread is out. All right, so let me go up here to the comments. Okay, Vince said, okay, true. The only solution is righteous living. Each one teach one. Abandon the Hollyweird mentality. Stop looking to Babylon's. Oh, for guidance. Okay, what you say? Okay, what you say? Diamond and Silk got fired. Okay, you have to wonder if they were paid to do these things. I just can't see how any self-respecting person of color can possibly approve this message unless it is because they are for sale or for self, and are only considering their financial standing. Okay, interesting. The LGBT community has so many counterparts to it that it's confusing and complex. Say it again. Okay, it is what? Confusing and complex. Hello. Okay, so now let's go here, people. Okay, let's go here, because do we get upset so much? Why? Or better, the better question is, I know we do. Why do we get so upset when we have people who feel as though that certain black folks and their opinions are catering to white folks, if you will? And I'm gonna stay right there, because a lot of times that's what we say. or y'all just sitting up here catering to these white folks? Y'all sitting up there. I'm waiting on Haji to come up in here because this is his topic, honey.
I get very upset with that, even though I have unfortunately, and God has to forgive me for it, I have 2 great nephews that are white, and I don't care for their mother at all, and she know I don't care for them, and Jessica don't care for them, but we just put up with it for Greg's sake.
For the sake of the kids.
They feel so privileged. They feel they can do what they want to, say what they want to, and get away with a lot of shit. And that even goes with the prison system, just not the prison system, in the everyday atmosphere. Because today I'm out with church members since this morning. We feed the families, went out to eat, and this other thing, and they took me to get some things. And it was just crazy how we got treated at Nancy's, the pizza place. And this white family came up in there. They got to them real quick, and my friend went completely out. He said, "No, I want a refund. I want my money back. We'll go to another Nancy." And it's just like, well, you can't get your money back. He said, "You either give me my money back, or I'm going to call customer service." And you know my mouth. So I stayed real calm, and she went to rolling her eyes. I'm like, "I don't care about you rolling your eyes, sweetie. But the number one factor, y'all feel too fucking privileged. I don't give a fuck if you 10 years old."
The privilege word, okay.
From the ages of 10 up to 99. There was a little white baby in the restaurant, and yelling at his mama. And she said, "Who are you yelling at, little man?" He said, "Fuck you." He had no more than like 9 or 10 months old. And I'm like, excuse. And before she realized that she slapped him, I seen a black mama come out of her, but all these white folks want to jump down her throat. This was her child in there. But if it had been somebody black, they would have called the police and had their asses arrested. Even if piggyback with the BREONNA, the death of BREONNA, I don't care what nobody said. Even a moment ago last night, she said, whatever bullet hit her and killed her, the bullet shouldn't have been flying in her house like that.
Exactly.
Why are you going to charge this man for shooting in somebody else's house and not charge the other one? But like she said, it ain't over. Just like the incident with the boy crossing through the workplace. How they shot him down, and then 2 more people involved videotaping, but they feel like they can hold us down and keep us out of shit, and then get afraid when you snap them. And that even goes when someone cares, because Jamie she tried to stay in her place, but I just see her go off on some of these white folks. If she keeps some of the words to herself because she'll lose her job, but stop talking to me any kind of way, whether you are client here, whether you work here, or whether you another client from another agency that come here, and they got it real bad, and they use their word real quick, nigger. When you call them a redneck cracker or a piece of trailer park rib, they ready to put your ass in fight.
Press pause. Okay, for those that we got the studio audience over here, honey. Okay, that's Miss Elise Smith. Okay. Okay, there's another issue to address in this: the division not only of races but along party lines. Remember that Kentucky, is a large part a Republican state, and we supposedly are assumed as blacks for the most part card-carrying members of the Democratic Party. Okay, and these are what not hearing the whole conversation. Please summarize what your guests are saying. Okay, girl, next time you talk, you got to talk louder because you got to get into the mic.
Okay,
but what she's saying is basically she's equating all this to children using the privilege card. Okay, girl. Okay. Yeah, silence all of your your cellular devices in the studio, please. Quiet on the set. Anyway, she's saying that being that she has 2 great nephews and things who are biracial and things of that nature, oftentimes they are raised to where they feel as though they are better than everybody, and it becomes a privilege thing, and then it becomes like on the job and then just in dealing with society, a lot of people become acclimated to just wanting to say, okay, it's the have and the have-nots. I have, you don't, and then they break it down on color lines and carrying on. And then you have those who, like I was saying before, black folks who are successful, they may make a decent salary. Okay, they make 4, 5, 6 figures or whatever. Okay, that's cute. Okay. or let me say the higher 5 figures, because hell, the poverty line is $10,000. Okay, that's poverty. Okay, right. And you wonder how folks could get over on $7.25 an hour. That's the federal minimum wage that they won't move. But okay, that's another subject. But the higher 5, 6 digit incomes and carrying on, and what happens is we get a lot of people who like to look down their nose or feel as though because they came out of something now they're better than, you know. And it's a fine line to tote, because we have those who are successful, like, okay, I've outgrown that. You know, that's no longer there. That's no longer who I am. I've changed, and that's a beautiful thing. But we also know those who will sit down there and feel as though because they came out the hood or whatever, they done forgot what it was to be in the hood. Okay, because you're able to go and buy name brand shit, okay, and designer clothes, okay, that you done forgot what it was when y'all had to go buy the no brand syrup and the no brand instant pancake mix. If you bought that, okay, you forgot what it was to go buy from the dollar stores or whatever a $1 bag of rice or ramen noodles, okay, because it was a quick meal and you need to feed all of your kids and this, that, and the other. You know, so oftentimes, I'm not going to necessarily call it the struggle, but what we end up getting is a lot of folks who come out of these things, out of these situations, and then they become somewhat of an authority on this, and in their means of trying to teach one, it becomes a whole thing of, now I need to tell you what you're doing in the kingdom because you wrong for this and you wrong for that. And it becomes a blame game versus everything else, you know, versus a teaching tool. But let me show you how to do this better. Okay, yeah, I understand that at minimum wage you can't save any money, but let's see what we could do to better your skills so you can come out of that job and move up to a new job. You understand? I have been wanting to talk to financial wizards and carrying on who tell you, okay, you need to maximize your 401k. You need to put money aside in your savings. I need for you to tell somebody who does that on minimum wage. I need for you to tell somebody how to do that when everything that they have, it goes into the house, because they don't have money for luxury. Okay, every quarter or every penny that they make comes into the house because it becomes part of the necessity. And I'm not talking about those who buy, you know, they splurge on the latest iPhone and spend $1,000 for a fucking phone that they're gonna drop, okay? Or they got all of the latest cable channels and can't on the TV they don't watch because they always at work. You know, I'm not talking about those who do that, because that's a whole separate issue. I'm talking about those who are actually in the struggle of living. They're out of survival mode, but they just barely living. Okay, they are barely out of survival mode. You know what I'm saying? And we could start calling the paycheck to paycheck children, but most of us are paycheck to paycheck. Okay, unless you have some kind of substantial savings put aside or whatever, most of us are paycheck to paycheck. Your check is already spent before you get it. You just want to make sure it's the right amount of money when you look at your pay stub, so that you know what the hell gonna get paid and what ain't. What payment arrangement are you on? Not to mention those of us who got student loans that we got to start paying back. You know, so we have a number of issues here, and this is where a lot of this comes into play. Okay, how about this? What you say? Or wear hand-me-downs or eat government assistance food. Yes, I hate that people have lost themselves after they own a few coins, a few extra coins. Okay, how about that? So where do we do this? And again, we quick to call these folks sellouts and carrying on. Why is it that that's the go-to that we are? Do we ever stop to ask ourselves, why do we do that? Or why is it that we don't sit down and ask them questions? I know I have people in my family. I'm like, okay, wait a minute, honey. I know what my family is. I know what this is all about. So where the fuck this attitude, like, bitch, because you traveling to Paris and carrying on, bitch, that now you all bougie, okay? and you done forgot what a roach look like, and because a roach done crawled across your damn foot or outside on the ground or whatever, now you jumping as if you done seen a ghost or something. Okay, what the fuck is that? Okay, so now, in addition to that, let's get to is it good for the culture? Y'all know that was yesterday's show. Is it for the culture? No, I can't stand that. But let's look at it. Okay, because when we see that people are now using their platform, and it looks like they're trying to win brownie points from mainstream. And I'm gonna take that across the board. You can say blacks try to do it with whites. You can say gays try to do it with straights. Women try to do it with men. You know, because women would get to the point where they would become so extra feminine and so puss, you know, to where they don't want to upset a man and let a man run all over them in the idea of this is what they need to do to keep him. Okay, and this, that, and the other. I know some of this, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna go on them, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I truly believe that some of the power to the people children that's always sit up there, we need to treat our men like kings and this, that, and the other. I truly believe that some of that shit is rhetoric. When you're talking about treating my man like this, and he, you know, women, you need to be submissive to the man and carrying on. And I say it's rhetoric because oftentimes the man has not proved himself to be your king. If he's sitting up there acting like a goddamn court jester, what the hell said that you're supposed to treat him like a king when he has not given us his countenance? A king commands respect. A king stands up. A king is addressed because he is one. Okay, and everything about his countenance says that. Not because he sit up there and expected you that, because now, you know, we done got this narrative and we love to say, oh, well, hell, we black, we come from Africa. All of us come from kings and queens. Yeah, but some were servants too. There's a bunch of servants somewhere. Everybody wasn't a goddamn king and queen. Somebody was servants. Okay, so what about that? Now, we were all warriors. Now, that's the part you don't tell. We were all warriors. We all protected the village. We all stood up and protected one another. But we yielded to the one who we said that we were willing to follow. And that was a choice. We participated and said, I'm going to follow you, either because of age and they were the elders, and we didn't want to disrespect all of that, or because they showed us that they were the knowledgeable ones, and they were there to teach and to guide, to bring somebody up behind them so that somebody could come into play and to take over. They were grooming the next one. Where's all of that? And I'm telling y'all, I swear, I really believe a lot of times, because it's becoming the catchphrase now. It's becoming the catchphrase. You know, and anytime we got catchphrases in the kid, now something in it ain't 100%, because something rotten in the cotton, honey. All we doing is we gonna have dry rot clothes. That shit, it look good, but it's going, you put it on and flex, and the shit gonna rip because it wasn't no good. The cords and the fiber were no good. Let me bring this girl up in here because she bouncing. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, I missed this one. Let me say this. Amy says, yeah, how can you save on minimum wage? I used to save some of my lunch money I got in middle school. My mom gave me $10 at the beginning of the week. I skipped a couple of lunches so I could save. Thing is, that's not saving. That's just surrendering it and something else than your needs. How about that? What you say? That's just surrendering it. You surrendered it. If you don't say that out loud, that ain't saving, that's surrender. Wow, Amy, that's real good. That's real good. Yesterday, you talked about setting an example to younger men. Without that example, young men don't grow up to be kings because no one showed them how to command respect. Girl, don't you fucking make me backflip. Don't you make me backflip, Amy, because that's real good. Yeah, what's good for the culture? You know, Okay, let's do it for the culture. Ooh, come on. What's up, girl?
Hey y'all, I miss y'all. I wasn't bouncing, I was trying to get comfortable. You know, but I was in here like, yes, Meech, would you please tell the people? I'm so glad you said that. Yes, we come from kings and queens. But if everybody was kings and queens, who was serving the kings and queens? Who were the palace maids? Y'all know I watch African TV all the time. The palace guards, the palace maids, the palace cooks and stuff like that. The people who, the farmers and everything, there are still more people than just the royalty and the people. We all play a part. Stop walking around talking about some you and listen. If you don't do king shit, don't expect king privileges. Period.
Wait a minute, I got to run that as a banner. Hold on.
You can put me on the banner.
That's a banner. That is a banner. Okay.
I see my little sister Key put up a post today. So it's so funny that I came into to listen to you and because I was like, let me check on Audition T, check on my team. But she had a post up that says, well, where the hell they do this at? You expect me as the woman in the relationship to go to work, come home, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and pay half the bills. But all you expect to do is pay half the bills. Where the fuck is that fair at?
How about that? Okay, how about that? How about
Just
that?
saying.
Okay, how about that?
It has to be a partnership. If I'm treating you like a queen, I better be being treated like a queen.
Okay.
I know, and I won't be in here long tonight either. I just was like, let me check on everybody. I just been exhausted, and we'll let y'all know everything probably next week or so about what's going on, because it's definitely going to have to be a story done.
Okay.
And it's some people that I'm going to dig in their ass, and they're going to be the next memes on Facebook and Instagram. I'm just saying.
Right.
I just don't know the exact name yet, but when I get the name, I'm going to do the real, I'm not going off. I'm not cussing nobody out. I'm going to report your ass. Period.
Period. Okay. Exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Exactly. Okay.
What else y'all got going on up in here?
You know what? I'm on this. Let me put Stan's comment up, because Stan and Cameron's display and press conference was buffoonish, cartoonish, and totally coonish. Okay. And totally coonish, he says. Big brother Stan Mason. Okay. Okay, he's going.
You're going to live next week. Yes, you are. And you know what? We're going to have Stan in there, because I'm going to need Stan to answer some questions for me on how detectives or interviewers on the force, when they lie or coerce people to say certain things, and then when they come out in court that these people didn't say certain things, and when it's like those situations where you might sign off on a deal and you just sign the paper, but you ain't never read what they put on the damn paper. So then you get to court and say, I didn't say none of that.
Wow.
It's not what I said. What I said was blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And then they tell you, well, yeah, this is basically what everything that you had told us, and you just signed it like a dummy. That's why you have to, anything that requires your signature, you need to be reading.
Right.
Read all the fine print.
Right.
So I'm gonna definitely need Stan to break down some stuff. I'll probably talk with you and Stan and Red behind the scenes before we go on and let y'all know everything, because we need it's going to be a story that we need to spread, because I've been reading the newspaper articles on what's going on right now, and they're so biased and so one-sided that I just was like, you know what, I'm not gonna read no more. Because even after, like, there are reporters in the courtroom, right, and they are not reporting what's actually happening in the courtroom.
Right. They're putting their own slant to it and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like Keisha read some of it today and was like, okay, Trump with the fake news. And I was like, well, wait a minute. That's not even what happened that day.
Okay.
Stan said what they need to do is they should always write their own statement, never let them type it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So while
Yeah.
you know, we are on today's show. My skin folk ain't my kinfolk.
Oh, that's
Okay.
the truth. Not sure enough, not all the time.
And so after what happened with Daniel and the Attorney General in Kentucky, and them not doing what they should have done with the Breonna Taylor case, and then the only one officer that was indicted got indicted on some bullshit.
On some bullshit about shooting the wall of the other apartment. Like, what the hell?
Right.
I couldn't even.
The wall got justice.
Yeah,
the wall got more justice.
Raymond's dad just said the wall got justice. The wall got more justice than Breonna did.
God damn it! Wait, that's a tweetable. Wait a minute. I'm putting that down. Oh, that's another.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, that's good.
The wall got more justice than Breonna did. Like that shit that's just crazy. It's like, so do you want us to burn this bitch down? Because now it just seems like they doing shit to provoke people.
Damn. Damn, that's good. Ooh,
that's crazy. That's so crazy. Like how?
Here's where it is. Because now we have we want to get to an understanding and have the conversation about us as Black folks who, we have those who have a difference of opinion and they claim that, that man said there and said that justice was served. Now we may not like how it was served, and sometimes it ain't served the right way, but the truth was out, and this is what happened. And this was basically, I'm paraphrasing, but that's how I heard it. Okay. Right. Damn it. We had a jury of our peers who did this, and they decided that the cops are right, and that's that. Okay, now I know you ain't gonna like it, but this is justice. Okay.
And how you like with the shit that Barkley and them said? The man shouldn't have been shooting at them. Nigga, you thought a motherfucking intruder came in your house.
Because I'm glad you brought that up. Because here's where it is, and I'm trying to give them a pass.
Not me.
Here's why. I'm trying to give them a pass because looking at it, I know Shaq is an auxiliary police officer down here in Georgia somewhere.
Right, he is. Is it Georgia? Where is he? Auxiliary police officer? I knew he was one. I didn't know it was here. I mean, I'm not in Georgia. I'm in Philly, but I can't remember where I am sometimes, y'all.
It's here. And so I know him being out there, he done got sworn in and deputized and all that kind of stuff, went through the training. So what it is, I think he's coming from what Shaq said was this. Basically, they were doing their job because they had got that warrant signed.
Yeah.
Okay? And so if we look at it we have to look at it from that point because they were in the right because they got this sign, they got that sign, blah, blah, blah. Like one of the reporters said that was on Good Morning America this morning, he was like, listen, y'all should have been saying this bullshit, but y'all ain't got all the information in the road.
Because at the end of the day, if they went to the house that was on the paper, then whoever gave that address is responsible.
Right. Everything. That's why the whole motherfucking system, all them motherfuckers need to go down. Because
exactly.
How do you sign a warrant, a no-knock warrant, and yet y'all
without being sure?
Nobody has checked the system to see that the dude that y'all looking for is already in front of the company. How does that go down? That's the shit that we trying to understand. Go down?
Somebody else said that. Somebody else said, what if it was kids in there? They didn't care. They did not care.
They had a no-knock warrant.
Which means it don't matter. We coming to hell in. It don't matter who in here.
Exactly. You got it, Stan. It's already there.
And for for them to not take responsibility for this.
Okay.
That's the part that hurts, because it's like, oh well, we made a mistake, and next.
Right. Okay. You know what? And I think now let me use that. I want to use that because I think that there is part of the fuel when we say all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk, because we're blacks who will subscribe to that, and then what make it seem as though, okay, well, y'all need to stop playing the victim. You need to sit down here. And it becomes that part of the conversation. Yeah,
they go to that Candace Owens and that Uncle Tom type thing. Oh, why you always playing the victim? Well, we got to do this and we got to do that. No, the shit shouldn't have happened.
It should not have happened. Period. Part that y'all got to hear, and I think we as blacks, and I'm gonna come to the white folk in a minute. I think we as black folk, when we hear this shit, we're like, how in the hell you let that come out your motherfucking mouth?
That's what I be saying.
How did you let that come out of your motherfucking mouth with everything around her? This is the shit that no, you ain't even looked at this. You ain't even paying attention to this part of the conversation. You done jumped in over here, and yet you let that come out your motherfucking mouth? How?
I would love to hear what she has. She said anything about this?
Who?
That bitch that I'm like, yeah.
Not that I know. I haven't heard her.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard, not yet. Okay, not yet. Hold on. Yesterday, you guys talked about the upstairs neighbor who were black weren't included in the wanton endangerment thing. Yeah, they were not. They filed, the case was filed, the indictment was filed as a wanton endangerment. But they did not include everybody where they got bullets. They only went to the white neighbors that were next door. They didn't include the black neighbors that whose bullets was up over them that got hit too. They didn't include them. So even if we were to say this was not a racial thing, and this is why all the black folks who jump on the time about everybody being a victim, or they want to be out all the time. Even though if you're not trying to set it up, you basically set it up. You set it up to be a race thing.
Because at the end of the day, we always have to look at this if it was flipped around. Had Breonna Taylor been some white woman and her husband laying in that bed and then no warrant happened and all kinds of shit, this whole country would be in an uproar. They would not have accepted that.
Okay. Exactly. As a matter of fact, they didn't, because we had the one case where the white woman was killed by the black cop. Okay. And they went after him some motherfucking. Okay. Her family was awarded $40 million. Not 12, 40. How about that? Yes, it was served all right without any condiments, seasoning, and on a cold ass plate. It was pure bullshit, plain and simple justice. Okay, right. Amy said, "Well, Eric is like it come from a white person's cookout."
Oh, I can't. Did y'all see the little white girl that got when the cop was trying to arrest her the other day for not having a mask on at the game?
Yeah.
Child, she was cussing that damn cop out. I'm glad he tased the little ass. That's what she gets. Sorry, Amy. I don't mean to all white people, but I'm just saying sometimes you just need a little bit of taste of that medicine.
But here's the thing, though, because she thought, again, everybody thought that she was above all that. And there was a lot of folks who would say, okay, you're going to tase her over. No, I didn't tase her over a mask. I tased her ass because she was
resisting arrest.
She was resisting arrest. He said, come on.
He told her to put her hands behind her back. She said, I will not put my hands behind my back.
And this, another. Now, hold on. There's another one. Did you see the black girl?
Mm-mm.
The black girl, the police pulled her over because I think they said the car was stolen.
Was it?
Car. And she and they were wrestling with her because she was putting up a fight. Okay. Mm-hmm. She was wrestling. And of course, and you know, I'm really starting to hate everybody. I can't breathe. I'm sick of that shit. Okay. When it's unwarranted, because all that you doing, bitch? You breathing right loud because them lungs are right strong right about now.
Because you're yelling out, I can't breathe.
You yell, you ain't sitting up there muffled like everybody else who's muffled, honey.
Right.
Know what it is. I'm asthmatic, bitch. When you can't breathe, honey, no. And if you got that much wind to sit up there,
it sounds a little bit different for us to tell you when we can't breathe. It don't sound like I can't breathe. It's like
right.
It sounds like that with the things in the middle.
And when we do get up enough strength to yell out like that, we're about ready to pass out because that's all.
Right. And because you taking such deep breaths and oxygen is leaving you.
That's all we got. So yeah, and what happened? It went on, and everybody was taping it or whatever. But in that instance, that bitch was wrong as fuck. She was absolutely resisting. They were trying to put her in the car. That bitch would not get in the car. Fight with the car and everything. That bitch was resisting all motherfuckers. They had to.
And that's the thing. Like we can't defend the wrong stuff. Like I'm not going to sit up here. It's different when you do something to an unarmed person who hasn't done anything wrong. Even at the time, even if you found out they had a warrant later, when you do that shit to them in the moment of them not doing nothing wrong, the shit is wrong. But if they arresting your ass because you done did some shit and you do all the fighting and carrying on and then something happened, and I'm not talking about being killed either. I'm talking about you might get your ass whooped because you done got thrown down to the ground because you done wrestled with them. It's not the same thing, and we can't act like it's the same thing because there's too many injustices that are happening to us for everybody to try to jump on a bandwagon when you know you're doing wrong.
When you know you're doing wrong. Hold on. Nothing was really but yeah, a $12 million settlement was made along with policy changes for no-knock warrants. Please make it make sense. Okay, right, exactly. Okay.
Thanks, Aaron.
What you say? Yes, brother, jump on it. And he talking to the stand. I came up in here. Let me bring him up in here. Here's the problem with that. They had an extreme act with no solid investigation. Think about this: the feds didn't have a no-knock warrant for Waco, and they were a terrorist organization. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on now. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Hey man, I know I'm right, but I can still think the other white people suck. Hey?
And we feel the same way about black people sometimes.
We don't. The whole thing of it is that we got to stop making excuses because we want everybody to be treated individually. But
right.
So many people want to paint everything with that broad stroke, and then when it comes down to the color lines, we have so many people who meet the stereotype. Okay. To where now it becomes okay. All them damn black folks, all these goddamn white folks, all them damn Hispanics, they did. And instead of understanding individually what is going on, we help perpetuate the stereotypes, and we help the world or mainstream feature those stereotypes because we don't stand up and challenge the narrative. We just don't. We don't challenge it, or at least it makes sense to where the other narratives are there, and you can see that we are a myriad of things.
Right. That's
Okay.
Okay. Which one of the black girl, Eric? I seen the one of the little white girl. I didn't see the one of the because I'm just being on social media like for the first time actually since I left.
Okay.
I'm glad stand up. Look, y'all now stand up in here. Look, and all my kids and stuff that came down the stairs. I'm gonna mute my mic so I can listen.
What's up, everybody? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you, baby. Yeah. Nikki had to put her mic on mute because she could, where she is, everybody, the family congregating. So she's gonna be on mute. She'll come in when she want to say something. So go ahead.
Let's clear the air on no-knock warrants. Let me kind of give people, and this is where everybody's not understanding how raids are done and all that. Okay, you don't just say, okay, today we're going to do a raid over at this place. They are planned. You do research. You know there are dogs in the house. There are children in the house. They got a goldfish in the corner. You've had people come in and out. You know everything about that place you're going. usually 24 hours before you make that hit. You know, when you get a warrant signed, it doesn't say that you have to go there at 10 o'clock. You may have a 24-hour or 72-hour window to serve that warrant anytime or do that raid, as the people call them. So you're not really locked in by a time frame. Now, when you're planning it, there's somebody watching that house 24 hours beforehand, because you may say it's a Ford truck that's in the driveway, so people can recognize the house. That Ford truck may be moved the day before. So there's always somebody watching it. As you're coming, they're saying, hey, the truck's not there, but this is the house, it's the blue house, or it's this apartment. And that person is constantly talking to the team when you pull up to make sure you get the right house. Now, in the Breonna Taylor thing, if they were saying that the guy was getting packages to her house, I would think, and this is just Stan's opinion, I would think that the best time to hit that house, any of us that wake up, number one, none of us are in our right mind. Right. You know, it takes a couple seconds for everything. Now imagine an intrusion into your house. Right. Okay? But if you're there because you suspect this guy's getting packages that are coming to her house and he's using the address, do a couple of these things. How about you have an officer dressed as a mailman? Right. How about you intercept the package, confirm that the package has drugs or whatever in it, then allow the package to proceed, then do your warrant or your raid. Now, when you get there, and this is my problem with no-knock warrants, and believe it or not, there are a lot of officers who do not like no-knock warrants. Right. For this exact reason. They don't like them. So, they decide to use a no-knock warrant. There are times that you would use them, but this is the problem in policing when officers are given tools. A no-knock warrant is a tool. It's an alternative. Most of the time, everybody wants to go to that tool. They want to use the hammer when they need to be using a screwdriver. How about that? And so this backfired. Now, there were several ways you could have done that. And of course, on Monday morning quarterbacking. Okay, if we know our intel is that there's nobody there but her and him. Right. We're going to come at that time of the morning. Then what you do, you knock on the door, police, they don't want to come out. You put so much tear gas in there, they'll come out. Right. And we wouldn't have been here, going that way. But because we get, and somebody referenced the Waco thing. See, this is exactly what happens when you bring force, and force meets sports, and then the element of surprise. Like I said, all of us have woke up in the middle of the night. We're in our house, but it takes us good 10, 15 seconds to be like, right. Yeah, to get it right. If this guy was in the drug game, if he was, I don't know, but if he was, he doesn't know, is this a rival people? Who exactly is just basting the door, or whatever the case may be. I think that for Cameron to stand up there and make the statements, I thought it was arrogant for him to assume that he was speaking for the majority of Black people. I thought it was buffoonish for him to throw our opinions and our feelings and dismiss them, and then to say that, well, you're obviously going to hear dissenting opinions and celebrities will make these comments and pay no attention to them. It reminded me of the scene in The Wizard of Oz when the curtain came and the man said, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That to me left a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, this is my question, Stan. So when whose job was it to first try to locate that man, the person that they were looking for? Because so the guy that they were actually looking for was already in custody, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So right then and there, where is that person who was supposed to make sure of where this person was? Because did he get, like you said, you might have a 72-hour warrant, right? Did he just get locked up the day before? Because why didn't they know where he was?
It's a matter of, answer Amy's question real quick. No, that's not intercepting the package, not tampering with the mail, because you can go to a federal judge and get a search warrant signed. If you've got probable cause, You write an affidavit, which is a story, which says to the judge, this is why I need a warrant. And if that judge says, yeah, intercept this package, yeah, they can do it. If they have probable cause and if a judge signs off on it. But, this is the thing with police departments, and I say it a lot on my show that people don't get it. It's not because they don't get it, it's because the police, we're not transparent enough, we don't talk to people. But there are, within police departments, there are so many little kingdoms. In there, patrol is one kingdom, and then on patrol, each shift is a little kingdom, and drug enforcement is a kingdom, and SWAT is a kingdom, and the detective, and nobody shares information. You all think that we share all this information, and we don't, because everybody wants credit for the arrest. Look at what we did, look at what my people did. So, Stan could come out and do something, and I may catch heat from another unit. Well, that was our warrant. Why'd y'all go over there and do that? It's not. Glad y'all got him. Nobody's getting sued. Nobody got shot. The person's in jail. It's competition in police. Sergeant want to be able to say, look how good our people did. Commanders want to say, look, Chief, look at us over here. We're doing this. So, yeah, they're all fighting for the same thing, but at the same time, credit. Everybody wants credit.
Wow. That's real.
Yeah, but then nobody want to take it when shit go left like this happened.
Exactly. I like
they don't want to take the credit then.
You just say if the fish is in the pond, why are they always in the rush to catch it?
Because right now, because we no longer in America right now, we're not seeing policing done anymore. You're seeing more of a like Cops and all the shows that are on. It's almost as if we're trying to solve everything in 30 minutes. 17 if we count for commercials. And so when we go out and we start performing like we're in a sitcom, I mean, it's more important that let's get the arrest and then we'll work our way back from there. Instead of real policing is you work your way up to an arrest, because there are times you could be looking at somebody and, I'm building my case against this person, and one little thing can come in that makes you go, well, this doesn't fit. And then you go back and look at all that other work that you put into getting that warrant, and you haven't gotten it signed by a judge yet, and you go, there's something wrong here. And you find out that the trail you were going down is not even right. That's not you making a mistake. That's you doing an investigation and being smart enough to say, no, we can't, this is not going to work right now. Given this climate, this is not going to work. And the Breonna Taylor situation, there were so many other ways that could have been handled, that could have been done. It didn't have to be done that way. But when you want to make a big spectacle, and that's like a recruiting film, it gets out of hand.
There we go. There we go. Wait a minute. Let me go here. I just said, where was any proof of receiving and distributing any legal activity? Hell, their home didn't even look like they were benefiting from legal activity or illegal.
And that's why you want, the grand jury transcripts to come out, because in order to understand, and I think that once again, with a lot of people, they don't understand how grand juries work. The grand jury is not like open court. Where you speak, then this person speaks, and that person speaks. A lot of times the attorneys aren't allowed in there. And so you don't know, these people are going to make a decision based upon what's put in front of them. So the question becomes, who decided what would be put in front of them?
Exactly. Yes.
See, that's how we end up with a lot of these.
We are having that happen right now, even with the open jury. It's like trying to figure out, they're putting things out there, hoping that the defense attorneys won't figure out some of the sly stuff that they did. And it's just crazy, like how the system just really works. I don't get it. I really just feel like not only are the police responsible that went in, but the people who dropped the ball and didn't know that the man that they were looking for was already in custody should be, there's no way in the world that they should let that fly. And it's like I said earlier, Meech, just like, oh well, we done made a mistake. They died, but ain't nothing we can do about it.
But Nikki, and that's not hard to do. You know, if I'm coming to get Big Mitch, and you know, we're coming to do this warrant tomorrow. When I come in, you know, that day to get the work and we're setting up, we're gonna go hit this house, we're gonna go do whatever. The last thing I'm gonna do before I go out is type his name in the computer. And if he was arrested last night, it's gonna pop up, arrested. Now I know, well, I got to scrap everything. Let me go to the jail and talk to him. There might be stuff I need in that house. That stuff in the house is not gonna go anywhere because he doesn't know I'm coming. Okay? Let me go over to the jail or send somebody over to the jail and talk to him. He ain't in no position where he gonna be able to make that phone call to the house. Then we go back and regroup. You know, what do we need to do at the house? What do we need to get? You know, he's not there or whatever. And you rethink your plan, but you can't write a raid plan out or a search warrant plan and say A, B, C, D, and E is gonna work. They never work that way. I've gone from A to D, sometimes B to C, back to A. We're human beings and we're moving in an environment that's constantly changing.
Oh.
And so you have to be able to adapt and change with that environment. What happens if the neighbor's kids come over?
Mm-hmm.
You're on the way to the house, but the neighbor's kids are now playing in the front yard.
Right.
That scraps the plan. You have to be able to call it off and tell that judge, you know, and I think, you know, officers don't like to do this a lot of times because out of for whatever reason, but if you go back to that judge, you go, Judge, we're going to resubmit this warrant. We couldn't do it today. Wow. Well, their 85-year-old grandmother was over there. She's on oxygen, blah, 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 blah. This just wouldn't be a good time or a good look for us to do that. And then you regroup and you go from there.
Okay. Nikki said it got too loud over there where she is, and so she's going to go ahead on because the family, they're trying to get ready for their stuff. So she said, good night, everybody. Okay, she had put herself on mute and all that. But she's going to, I'm sure she's going to continue to listen in. But here, let me go here because I got a couple of comments, and then I'm gonna go here. Why did it take so long to come to this trifling conclusion when the reserves were called in a few days before this announcement? You knew this was some shit in the game, okay? Totally. Okay. I'm a huge fan of Law and Order, the shows, and there's plenty of episodes that have grand juries that don't proceed with the trial because of insufficient evidence, and it's always because something gets excluded that was key to the prosecutor's case. Okay. Now listen to that. You learned that just by watching television. Okay.
But, you know, Mitch, I got to say, though, you know, we're talking about grand juries and courts and different things. And, you know, this is the hard talk that's going to come in. Now, we have to remember that when you have trials, you have juries.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have jurors that are selected from a juror pool. So all of you who don't vote, all of you who don't have a driver's license, all of you who get selected to for jury duty, and you're in that room trying to figure out a way to get out of jury duty. You don't have nothing to do, but you want to get out of it, but then you want to come back and complain. Wow, it was an all-white jury because them white folks went and did their service. I'm not saying it's all black folks, but we have to be willing to serve on juries before we can complain about the makeup of the juries.
That is real good right there. That is real good. Okay, that's real good. What's that? Just jurors get excluded as well by the lawyers, right?
Right, yeah. When they're selecting the jurors, each side is trying to find the ones that they think is going to be best for their case. But I'm saying if you send out, you know, summons for jury duty, and you send out, say, 1,000 of them, and, you know, you get some people that just not going to show up. And I've had jury duty, and I've sat in those rooms with 300-400 people, and you got maybe 12 trials or 7 trials coming up. So 7 different courts are going to be picking from the same group of people. And they'll say, you know, the first 4 rows go to this room, second 4 rows. But when you got people who openly sit in there and talk about, I got to get out of this. I can't be up in here. I don't have time for this. And they don't get picked, or the judge says, if anybody has a reason they can't serve on a jury, come up now. That line in front of that judge is longer than the line on Black Friday for a pair of Jordans when the store opens at 4 in the morning.
It is long. Something there. Okay, you done said something there, honey. Stan, you nailed it. If you don't vote, you don't do jury duty. I always joke that it's the price you pay for voting. Exactly.
You know, and she's right. But at the same time, you know, I always tell people when you don't vote, you're going to get the justice that your no vote voted for. So you're voting when you don't vote.
Wait a minute, I'm writing that down. That's a banner. That's a banner. Okay, wait a minute. That there is a banner, honey. If you don't vote, you will get
the justice your no vote voted for.
The what that your vote voted for?
The justice that your no vote voted for.
That's it. That, wait a minute. That your no vote voted for. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yeah, come on. We're going to roll that on the bottom. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. But now, let's do this. Because see, we done got into a lot of what's going on with the problems and things, and we understand in this case. But now, as a black man, and particularly with this coming from you, because you shared with us that you are interracially married. How does wait a minute? First off, let me ask this: Have you been accused of being the sellout and the Sambo or the Uncle Tom or whatever because you left your race to marry someone outside of the race?
You know what? If I haven't had anybody come to my face with it, because I think a lot of times it's how you carry yourself. And so people who are going to come at you like that, they're going to figure out, well, first, my thing is first know who I am when you come. You know, because my response to those type of people is just 2 words: Google me. That's it.
So, having said that, when we look at those who are on this extended list of people who we're calling the sellouts, and I say we as collectively as blacks, the sellouts and the Sambos and they're not Uncle Tom children, but everybody they think that's what it's called, so they say Uncle Tom, and all of that. What is it that we need to do, or what do you think has to happen for us to allow them to have their opinions and things, but we end up casting them aside so quickly? How do we rectify that, or is there any kind of thing to rectify from? Do we address it? How do we fix it? How do we maneuver through it? What do we do? Because I think oftentimes we throw that out there when folks ain't down for the struggle, or you ain't black, you ain't down, and because certain people don't subscribe to or accept the hood or what's supposed to be the black experience as their reality, the way that mainstream have looked at us, they get thrown up under the bus a lot. I'm not making excuses. What I'm doing is trying to try to broaden this conversation, because it's real easy to sit in there and say, okay, you down with the white man. The white man that sat down here and did this, and this, and it shows because shit, you ain't down for us. You ain't down for your people. How do we move past that, or do we ever do it?
I Stan's opinion. I'm not speaking for all black people, and I think that the frustration that appears on the surface is exactly as you said, which means the script has been written and we become unconscious players in it. But I think the problem is deeper than that, and it's twofold. Because when you have these people who have positions of power or influence anywhere, and you always see them stand up and give grant, they got time for congressional meetings and these big $500 plate things, but you never see them at the problem in the hood. So how can you become the expert on the problem when you're absent from the conditions and the problem itself? So I think that is the first thing. And I think that when some of these people speak, and I'm not knocking anybody with a great vocabulary and may have an accent or whatever, people are who they are. But when they're out there speaking, and the unsaid message is, you don't even realize that being black is not something you turn on and off. It transcends your position. There are people in the room who you may think are clapping for you that are sitting there. I'm glad we got this one up here to say this. So you may say, I'm trying to fix the system from the inside, but you may not know that you're being used. It's like, my dad used to say, just because you get invited to dinner doesn't mean you're not the main course.
Ooh.
So I think that that's where we see more of the struggle, the movement being placed in the hands of the young people, because when we see so many people in a position to affect change, to make a difference, the people that aren't afraid to take off the Dockers, take off the polo shirt, put on some Levi's and some Converse and come on down here and pick up some trash and dig out some ditches. Don't just tell poor black folks and poor white folks, pick yourself up by your own bootstraps. They're going, I don't have boots.
Right. How about that?
But then we've got to stop. We are our own worst enemy in that we continually vote for these people because we've all heard it. Well, we need a black person in there, so let's vote. Everybody of color ain't you what?
Folk ain't my kinfolk, honey.
We need to endorse the right people. 80% of these people who have convoluted this system for political reasons or socioeconomic reasons because they're making money, they're the pimps and we're the hoes because we're dancing for them. And until we stand up and say, you know what, I might not matter, but I matter twice a year. I'm gonna get the vote every 2 years or whatever your elections are. But you gonna matter then. And we got some black folks you don't see at the black church until it's election time.
Until it's election time. That's
so it ain't just white folks.
Right. And let's go there. Because Mary just put something up in here that I want to get to. My biggest pet peeve is when people say Mary not really white. Okay, Mary's not really white. She one of them white black girls, honey. Or you can't be all the way white, honey, because of how our Caucasian counterparts who are like us, in that they are on the line for social justice and for change and this, that, and the other. Okay, understanding that they may have their own prejudices, and biases, but they're willing to move past them to educate themselves. Because prejudice is just a prejudgment. Okay, because you never knew, you don't know until you learn, and once you learn, then you're able to do a different assessment. And oftentimes, this is why I want to get to white folks, because my skin folk ain't my kinfolk. I open up with the masks. The Hollywood mask that the white will use to go rob the peoples and things, and that he spent so much money for, because that one was very realistic looking and things. And then we have the opposite side of that, because we talk about black folks who done sold out to the white man and things, but then we got white folks who've been called nigger lovers, who've been called or saying that they ain't white enough, who've been killed and things, during the civil rights movement and stuff. There's a lot of white folks who were killed for helping black folks. And then they want to throw them away. What was Miss Thing? The transracial girl, what's her name? Rachel Dolezal or whatever. Girl who, transracial. That bothered me because I thought it was a slap in the face to the trans community. But I get what they were trying to say at the same time, because actually, okay. But she denounced her living conditions, that she was so inoculated with the culture, of black culture and carrying on. But whites look at her as a castaway, or even how they look at their poor folks. Whites, the whole idea of white privilege comes from white folk that had money who looked at poor white folk and threw them away. And because poor white folk had white skin, they felt that they were entitled and privileged to everything during the slavery time. That's why a lot of that shit with the slave catching and carrying on, those are poor white people. That's where the term cracker comes from. Cracker didn't only mean the one that cracked the whip on the slave. The cracker was the crumbles, honey. They were weak. They were crumble. They were weak parts of the Caucasian culture. And they were considered, desolates and carry on. They were the degenerates and the dregs. You know, the rich white folks didn't want to be bothered with them. Look at how we treat quote unquote country bumpkins and white trailer trash. As the thing is. You know,
I think, bro, let's try this part of it, because I was reading Mary's comment, and I can understand where she was coming from, and also Amy's. And my thing is, people can look at skin color all day long, but I kind of view the whole white and black thing when I'm just dealing with people and not a particular situation.
Right.
I see it's an attitude. It becomes a descriptor of an attitude, not necessarily the color of the person, because we all know a lot of white black folks and a lot of black white folks that people will look at and go, you're obviously confused because they're either black or white. No, I mean, I think, to me, when I use the example and I say white folks or white, I'm not talking about all people that are not black. I'm talking about that attitude, that privilege, that because I'm white, I founded this country and I should be given. That is the white that I talk about. Now, that doesn't apply to all white people. And you'll find people who we want to call white people or Caucasian that don't like white people. Why? Because they hate that whiteness, that white attitude.
Right.
Now, we have the descriptor of black. Let's go beyond the skin color. Mary's perfect. You're not white. Why? Because she has an attitude, a purpose, a pride about her that is consistent with that of black people. So, they'll automatically tag her.
Uh-huh.
I know some black white folks. Eminem.
You too.
So I mean, I think that America's really forced to have this discussion. And when we look at white and black, as far as the context of people, and their actions, you start to see that we're all people at the end of all of it. We're all people. Our problem is not black and white in this country. That's just the thing that they're using to keep us apart. Our problem, this is a fight against rich against poor.
Boom.
It's not about black and white.
Baby, right? Exactly. So here, let me look at it from this particular angle, because we keep saying all skin folk ain't my kinfolk. But what is it that how do we identify I don't want to answer that way, because I think if I ask it that way, it would be setting up stereotypes. How do we identify those? But what is it that, oh shit, I'm trying to get this question right. Basically, I think what I'm going to say is this, and that we need to know how to vet people a little bit better. I think I'm going to just make a direct statement versus trying to ask a question, because it's very subjective, I believe. Your vetting process has got to be much better than what the fuck it is. Okay? Because oftentimes, we say it all the time. You know how your parents told you about certain friends you hang around? I don't like that one. That one ain't no good, and blah, 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 blah. But we don't see the forest for the trees because we done got wrapped up, tied up, tangled up, and all that. Okay? Mm-hmm. How do we learn how to vet? What is it that we as people don't do when it comes to vetting people and understanding that, okay, just because it's almost, y'all know how we do our friends. We ain't got the same last names, but you know which friends to call your brother, and you know which friends to, that's just an acquaintance or whatever. You know what friend to bring into your inner circle, and you know which ones are your bar friends that y'all friends only at the club. Oh, that's my hey, y'all ain't exchanged phone numbers. Y'all don't know each other. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all do outside of the bar, unless y'all go to the restaurant together. But y'all only know each other at the bar. Okay? So if we're able to do that now, and just in our social lives, why don't we ever take that across the board when we're looking at stuff from a political standpoint, a spiritual standpoint, because not everybody can lead spiritually and things of that nature? How do we come into a better idea of learning how to vet folks? Let's go there. On that.
Maybe this, how many, before you can vet folks, how many of us have vetted ourselves?
How about that?
How about looking in the mirror first and understanding who you are, and understanding I have things I don't know, I have strengths, I have weaknesses, I have things I don't like about me.
Right.
I have some racism in me. I have some biases in me. I have some, so you've got to, You can't go out and meet people till you first meet yourself. And a lot of people walk this earth and leave and never serve. They don't serve any earthly good while they're here. They haven't made a difference at all. And so, you know, I find that when you know yourself and you're comfortable with who you are and your opinions and your personality, everybody's not a stand. You know, I'm alpha personality. I'm just going to say what I think. But it causes me to surround myself with like people who have an alpha personality too. I'm not saying they're better than anyone else, but they're more conducive to making me a better person, because those alpha personalities know that for me to have a conversation, Stan, you need to work on this and work on that, they're going to come at me like an alpha. So, you know, once we learn ourselves, our friend pool we find grows. If we say, well, I'm going to make all my friends just black and all my friends just white, you know, well, you're limiting yourself. You know, because let's be honest, most of the people right now who have done wrong to you in life either look like you or you sought them out. You know, and just an example. Why is it, and certainly women don't get mad, I'm not talking about all of y'all, but why is it that when you're in a relationship, let's say black woman, white man, all your friends are going to tell you everything that's wrong about that man. Gary, I can't believe you're doing that. And guess what? All of them single. So why would you take relationship advice from a single woman? Don't bring me Steve Harvey's book and tell me, you know, Steve Harvey got relationships figured out. Y'all listen, Steve Harvey is married to the side boo he was cheating on with his first wife, got a relationship book and folks buy it. So when you know yourself, you're going to automatically attract people who are like-minded. And that builds you. That's that strength. You know, when I lived in Japan, Japanese people had a saying about Americans, and this is 100% true. If you're American, your feelings get hurt. They said Americans have friendships like a lake. It's vast, but it's shallow. But Japanese people have friendships like a pool. It's very small, but it runs deep.
Yeah, runs deep, honey. Wait a minute, I like this. Stan, I constantly tell people about privilege being about monetary privilege more than racial privilege, but it doesn't mean that racial privilege doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Mary says, Stan, I agree about learning ourselves first. Okay. Oh, he said that. Come on, Miko. Oh, he said that. Okay. Did he give you that? Yes, he did. Okay. So now, okay, here we go. Because in understanding us as a people, see, I'm really one of the things I get tired of us quick to jump on that whole power to the people shit. You know, the black, you know, we want to compare them to the black folks like Tamika did. Now she said it, and I'm agreeing with her, but I'm saying this for conversation purposes as we're quick to jump on that bandwagon of, okay, you the sellout, or you just like the slave that sold us into slavery, because it was like Tamika said, there were black folks on there, you know, who was on the ship or whatever that sold us into slavery, and this, that, and other. You know, they were there, and this, that, and other. I get tired of hearing that, because that too becomes politicized. Okay, if we start to use it as a manipulation point when we want people to really get down with it. How is it? And maybe this is too broad of a question to even put thought to. But will we ever get to a point where we could stop manipulating people into getting them to do something, and we just present facts or just present the information and allow folks to choose for themselves what the fuck it is they want to do?
You know, brother, you know, her comment first, I'm going to say, I supported her 1,000%, and I loved it. And I loved it for this reason. I think that Mr. Cameron, by virtue of his position, when he went down that rabbit hole into being presumptuous about black people, and you didn't have to tell the world you're black, we see that, but he opened that door, okay? Now, she brought her little voice up, and guess what? She had a microphone too. So she broke it off in him, and it, you know, and that's what I like, you know, but that's what we need more of that accountability. You know, I think when we say, you know, the whole power to the people movement, then I say, which people?
Right, exactly.
Because we could say all power to the people, and I go, okay, What about the white folks? Oh, they've been in power long enough. Well, this is my neighbor. He lives next door. He ain't got no power. Can he have a little bit too? Go down, you have a problem with that. Okay, here's the couple down the street. There's 2 men that are married. There's 2 women that are married. Oh, they don't get any power? Okay, so it's not power to the people. It's power to the people that you like. Remember the book Animal Farm, where the pigs came out on the porch and they said that all animals are created equal. Some is just more equal than others. You know, so I think when we get caught in hashtags, and this is where this generation, this time period, I guess is better to say, we're so caught in a hashtag. Everybody has to belong to a group. And I think that a lot of people need to first be you.
Oh.
Do you. You know, you don't necessarily have to be in the group. And, you know, it's a sad dog that doesn't wag its own tail. When you need people around you to qualify you as a person, you know, man, look.
Okay.
She said it. She said it right there.
If you can't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen in here?
I love Amy.
Come on.
I love Amy.
So, you know, it starts to you know, I won't say unravel, but it just ruffles my feathers because I get so sick and tired of feeling as though we would never get to do the internalized cleaning that I'm going to say that probably until I leave this planet. Okay. I get so tired of not being able to do the internalized cleaning that we need as a race of people in this country.
I think we are.
You think so?
Oh yeah, because, you know, let's look at us that are about to leave our 50s, but our generation. Okay, we're kind of jacked up because we came on the heels of the civil rights movement. We haven't really carried the torch anywhere. We was having a good time in the 80s in the clubs, you know, and then, you know, the 90s, we still out there. So we were at the horn of plenty, enjoying everything. Now, this generation of young people today that will say they're lazy, yeah, you know, they may feel entitled, but you know, when I watch them and you look at their friends list,
yeah,
they got people from all over the world. This generation is transcending the concept of race. And once we get beyond my blackness, your whiteness, your gayness, your straightness, your religion, and we just see people as people,
right?
Racism, these things will go away. This generation is not as eloquent as Dr. King.
Right.
They possess the strength and willingness of Malcolm. Now, make no mistake, they reach through cultural barriers, and this generation is more solidified, I think, but make no mistake, this generation of kids and young people, I'm going to say 30 and beyond, or 30 and back, they're not going to sit on the sidewalk and sing Negro spirituals and let you squirt them with water hoses.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. But part of that is because we taught them that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well,
we taught, you know,
they thought they didn't get any better, and I don't blame them. I mean, our generation, you and I, there are places we can go that we couldn't go. We can sit at a lunch counter now. We can sit in the front of the bus. We can go drink at the water fountain. We can do that. But you cannot, you and I, and if you're Black in America today, you cannot get in your car and reenact the Buick commercial that you saw late last night when the whole family jumps in the car and drives across America.
Right.
Because the Green Book still exists. You know, like I said, we need a ghetto Siri. You know, I need to be able to put it into my GPS when I'm driving, and it tells me things like Confederate flag on the left.
Right.
Come on, Smallville, do not stop for gas. You know, we actually we have to plan where to stop and what to do in 2020.
You know, I wish we would recreate the Green Book.
It's there. It's just up here for all of us.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you said right now, if I said, hey, Meeks, I'm going back to Texas, you know, you want to ride with me? Yeah, let's go. We don't have to say anything in that car. We already know where we're not stopping in Mississippi, where we're not stopping in Alabama. We can go through a town and just see a few things and just say, I may not build no friendships here because I'm not getting out the car. We know that, but we should. But if you look at TV, every commercial that's out for buying a car, you would think we could just jump in the car and go everywhere. That's a lie. You know, I was telling a young lady, she was white, a couple of days ago. we were talking, and she was asking me about race. I said, you realize that all black males would tell you this? I said, our parents set us down around 8 or 9 and had a discussion with us, not about sex, about how to interact with the police.
Right.
So she said, no, that's not true. I said, I stopped about 5 brothers while she was standing. I said, hey man, how old were you when your dad first talked to you about the police? 8. Hey man, how old were you when 10? And she looked, she said, I never knew that. I said, there's so much to our daily existence that you don't know.
I won't know or understand.
Unless you ask.
Unless you ask to be educated.
Thank
you know, until you do that. Yesterday's show, we were talking about, you know, because I'm starting to get into my little funny little thing. You know, everything is all about the culture. Oh, let's do it for the culture. Let's do it for the culture. Oh, it's good for the culture. And that's bothering me. That phrase is bothering the shit out of me because it's starting to, number one, it's becoming a politicized thing. It's another one of these catchphrases that somebody's going to usurp. See, we as black folks, every time we try to do something, and here, all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk, every time we're still looking for identity. We're still looking for something to call ours, you know. And when we get something and we try to hold on to it, then it becomes the next catchphrase. Look at Black Lives Matter as a perfect example of it. It started off as a hashtag that became protest. Now it became a fucking movement, and that's cute. But the power that be, the 3 black women that started the damn thing have now let it branch out into something that done blown so far out of goddamn control as far as their narrative is concerned, to where now the whole idea of it is being questioned. The whole idea of it, that's supposed to be something for us to say, listen, we're tired of being abused by our law enforcement that's supposed to be here for us. It has now become a whole big old thing to where we're labeled as a terrorist group. And we're labeled as this. We got white folks controlling the money. And all of that. We got branches in Canada and Canada that I didn't even know existed. Okay? And so here we are now. Let's do it for the culture. You know, and now, you know, I'm waiting on the t-shirts and carrying on to where they're going to start to take that too. And then yet, we haven't even defined what the hell the culture is. We quick to tell and again, it only seems as though it is wrong when a white person does it. We got mad at Robin Thicke. We got mad at no, they didn't get so mad at Josh Stone, but Robin Thicke was one. Who's the other? Was it John B? You know, we got a number of white folks, American white folks. I'm not talking about the Europeans that came over from other countries who have embraced our music and embraced this. But now we got culture vultures, or what they call it, cultural appropriation. Okay, well, you done came in and now y'all done took our sound and y'all done took this. We got when the Beastie Boys came into rap and Eminem is the white rap. You know, he done became the quintessential white boy that all white folks are aspiring to be like because he made it in the black game of rap. You know. And so now that we're talking about cultural appropriation and this, that, and other, now let's do it for the culture, you know.
But me, you know, I once again, this is Stan. This is not. I'm not speaking for all black people. I'm saying what works for me. You know, I being black, I'm proud that I am black. But at the same time, I don't have any problem with a white person who says I'm proud that I'm white. I mean, be you, because there is more to Stan than blackness.
Boom.
There's more to me. And if you can't see, for example, when I was in the police department and I'm doing a job, stand-up guy, role model, and I could talk about crime and I work in the neighborhood solutions, interacting with the community, and that was beautiful. They loved me, bro.
Right.
You're the model officer. But when I started speaking up about the things that black people were enduring, I became the bastard stepchild. I'm the same person. See, right. So it had to, and my thing with them was, well, we never knew you felt that way. They were around me 25 years. I never knew you really felt that way because you never talked to me.
Right.
Well, the other black officers don't say anything. That's them.
Right.
Stan's name tag don't say other black officers. I'm gonna tell you what Stan thinks, and then you can go back and feel comfortable with them.
Right. How about that? Let me put Miko's comment up there. He said, "Yeah, boomer generations are stuck on stupid in some cases. What I love about this generation is they ain't waiting on Jack. They want quality now. The patience is real short, and I understand that. I can understand that too, honey. Okay.
What James Baldwin say, bro? What did James Baldwin say? You keep telling me be patient.
Right.
You keep telling me all the time. When is the right time?
When is the right time? Because it never will be. Exactly. Stan, do you feel that as more of the races intermingle, it is starting to lead to a better understanding of why judging one on their other is ignorant and pointless? I'll tell you, for me, I believe that because I've always said that it's the new power. Who said that? That there was a new power that's going to rise. Was that Martin or somebody said that a new power was going to rise, and they thought it was going to be a lot of our Middle Eastern citizens and carrying on. But that new power that's on the rise is going to be interracial, multiracial, multicultural children. Because that there is, I really hate, it's going to be the wave of the future, because everybody's going to be, you talk about America being the melting pot? How about that? We're supposed to be the melting pot, but yet the white supremacists and carrying on, honey, don't want it to blend. Okay.
But it's coming. You know, this is, I'll tell you, the proof is in the pudding. You turn on, I'm going to give an example, a Trump rally or a Republican National Convention.
Right.
Turn the sound down where you don't listen to anything. And look at that America that you see there.
Right.
It looks like a snowstorm.
Right.
Okay, then you go to a Democrat deal, turn the sound off so you're not listening to what anybody's saying, and look at that America that is represented. And the political division is being motivated by the browning of America. This bread has been in the toaster for a while, and it's about to pop up. And whether people like it or not, this generation of young people is not concerned with whether their significant other is black or white or Latino or Asian. They don't care, because one of the things these young people today see beyond your skin color. They want to know about you. See, our generation in life, we're stuck on the profile picture. This generation reads the profile.
Wait a minute. Miko said there are many Ivy Soul music artists that have shown their appreciation. They appreciate our culture and our music, but they never got any love and respect while they were such as the Queen of Ivy Soul, Tina Marie. John B has been down for the culture since before he became a solo artist, and so many other white music artists who made it their point to include us in our culture, but never got the credit or the support. I like that. And here's the thing, because you just said something, Stan, that I think is pivotal in all of this, and that there is we as us, when we don't, wait a minute, how did you just say that? Because I just lost my train of thought. Damn it, it was good and shit, it just escaped.
That's just getting old, bro.
And I don't want to say that, damn it, but it's right there, and then I got distracted. But one of the, here, in going to this point, as far as our Caucasian counterparts, I think this is what it is, because you were saying that, you know, when we sit down here and we acknowledge them, oftentimes because we acknowledge the good white folk or whatever, as the children like to say, okay, that there becomes an issue, because now it seems as though we selling out because we ain't talking all the way black. We ain't talking black, you know, and that I know I've always had this is how I started calling them the power to the people children, because all of these Pan-African children and we got to get back, you know, that's the Tariq Nasheeds, that's the Umar Johnsons, that's the Yvette Carnells, that's the Vicky Dillards, that's all them children. I get what they're saying, and I know what they're trying to say, and I know what they think they're saying. But what is being translated into is anytime I give white folks any kind of acknowledgement, anytime I say, oh no, there are some good white folks out there that's not about all this, that, and other, and they haven't showed that to me. To say that was where I was. To say, oh, it hasn't come to me, then it becomes, Oh, well, hell, that's because you blind. You looking to get your white privilege card. You looking to sit down there. Haji always say this all the time, that he believes that a lot of black folks are looking to get their white privilege card because white privilege in this particular society, he says, is the ability to sit down and to do your thing and talk about black folks and demean black folks and put down black folks in the same way that white folks do, without white folks looking at you like you one of them. When in all actuality they do. Now, I get that to a point. And the point that I get it to is oftentimes you got what, remember back in the day, we called it brown nosing. Okay. You brown nosed your way up and you're kissing everybody's ass and carrying on, trying to get to the top. And thinking that because you were the fink and you were the rat and you were the mole and you were the one that you're doing your job. Okay. When they saw you as just, you know, they saw you as this little do-wah-diddy of servitude, and you didn't get no coup for it. You didn't get the advance. You didn't get the raise that you supposed to have gotten because they had Timmy come in, and Timmy became your boss, and you trained Timmy. Okay, and this, that, and the other. So oftentimes, you know, in us trying to be individualized, you know, and just like you said, I speak for myself and carrying on. I don't have a problem with saying my piece and this, that, and the other. But then it becomes, oh, you don't have the support of everybody else. And why did my lights just go out? Okay, hold on, honey. Put my lights back on. Oh, see, they're trying to shut me up.
You know, I think for me, when whatever your issue is, and you know, you stay reachable to people, you know, you voice their concerns. You recognize that there are people in conditions in this country, no matter what color they are, that when you're hungry, you're not, there's no such thing as black hungry or white hungry.
Say that.
There's just hungry. So we have to say the problem is not black hunger or white hunger. The problem is hunger. There's no such thing as black homelessness and white homelessness. The problem is homelessness. So let's deal with homelessness and hunger, and let's go give the microphone to the people who are homeless and hungry and give them a position at the table. You know, you have to give them some input. So when they feel their voices can be lifted up and magnified, they will rally around that person who's going to speak for them. So if you or whoever, and you seat me at this table with the powerful white infrastructure, knowing that you're bringing, you know, the confidence and the support of those who have nothing, the least of these people behind you, you have the flexibility and freedom to say what needs to be said, the way it has to be said in order for it to be understood. I think that my problem with a lot of black leaders is that they take our condition and blow it down and present it as a state of discomfort. So if this person is in a position to affect meaningful change for my community or the socioeconomic class that I'm in, but yet the mouthpiece takes our crisis and makes it an inconvenience, that person is going to say, well, we can get to that later. That's not a big issue.
Right.
See, so we have to stop making our condition palatable, because I don't want to hurt the mayor's feelings or the governor's feelings. To hell with what the governor or the mayor thinks.
Exactly.
I can take you down here and show you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Police Chief, Mr. Council Person. So if the people with nothing elevate or support you, that is a seat of honor, because these people may not even vote, but if they believe in you, and you know in the hood, respect is hard to get. And if you got it, you carry it into these pristine buildings. You carry it into these boardrooms. You can still have decorum. You don't have to be rude. But I know for me, people say, well, you're very direct. You can be brash. You can be, I am whatever I have to be for you to understand, not just the comfort level in the room, but the temperature to the degree.
I like that. And the temperature. I like that. I like that. Well, I guess I done talked myself clear of this particular topic for the day. Okay, all my skin folk ain't my kinfolk, and I know I'm gonna have to do some soul searching on this, because I'm gonna admittedly say this is one of my biases to this topic, is because I know that for me, I love the fact that I'm a black man because that's all that I am. If I didn't love it, I wouldn't be me. Okay, that means that I'm mad because I'm here. No, I may be mad because of certain situations or whatever. But hell, I'm me and I'm here. And I know how to navigate through it. And do I want better? Of course. Do I want more? Of course. You know, but at the same time, I just get tired of us quickly jumping on the bandwagon of wanting to call somebody out. Okay, not and I want y'all to hear me because I'm saying quickly do it. Not the ones who have justifiably have shown us that this is what it means. But I get tired of us having to run to those particular epithets that we use, and then expect for them to change, but then we don't do the change, or we don't become the change ourselves. You know, and then I get tired of us jumping to that as that's the only means out when we don't define who is successful. Okay, what's the difference between a successful person and a sellout? Okay, because oftentimes it could be perspective. Because just because somebody becomes successful and chooses not to come and hang around in the hood no more, does not mean that they sold you out because they didn't take their hard-earned money and come down here and give out handouts the way you think they're supposed to do. At the same time, I do not believe that just because that you done made all this money or whatever, that you're supposed to look down your nose at the place that you came from. Because it is our responsibility to be able to go back and to make it better in some kind of way. And maybe that may not be your position, but there's a number of us now, and particularly now, we got so many black millionaires and we got a few billionaires that carrying on now who are my skin folk. But what makes them not my kinfolk? The fact that they don't want to come and help the hood or build businesses. I always ask folks, you say you're a businessman. How many jobs have you created in the hood that you claim you wanted to represent or that you came from? How many times you've gone to the school that you graduated from? And if you just helped out that school or whatever. And, those kinds of things that I think, on social levels and social justice issues that we could do better at. I'm not saying that that's the answer or it's one of the answers, but we could do better at. But it just bothers me when we get to the point where the first thing we run to is calling somebody Uncle Tom. That ain't the right word. I'm going to keep saying that until we learn the word is Sambo. Okay. When we call them all out of these names because they're successful and because they don't believe the way that we do. How come we are not allowing folks to have their own opinions about stuff, even if we disagree with it? Do we automatically throw them away? Because this cancel culture that we have allowed to permeate everything, you could say, I don't fuck with you. Okay, I ain't gonna fuck with you, because you way out there. We said out there, baby, you out there in left field. Okay, you stay on over there in left field, honey, because I can't deal with all that over here. That there was what we used to say. Okay, now we canceling folks out. We done threw them away. We done disowned them out. We done took their black cards from them and carrying on. And all that jazz. But instead of at least having a conversation, we don't even, and it gets to the point where we don't even want to have a conversation. And that's not to say that for those who had and y'all at a meeting, y'all can't come to a meeting under mine and you just say, okay, we agree to disagree. You go your way, I go mine. We don't even get that far. We just want to sit down there and cut them off, and then all the rhetoric and all of the fodder, all of the keyboard curses and posting and stuff come from us being petty, throwing the dozens and talking about how black they ain't, and yet not paying attention to what they've done. Let their merit show what they do, honey, because that's going to say their culture. But then another thing, oftentimes these same folks that we say ain't black, they will go get a white husband or a white wife, and then perpetuate their Uncle Tomness, or that ain't the right word, their Samness, okay, and carry it on in all in saying that, to prove that they are better than being victims, because the whole idea of having a white spouse be a trophy you know, has been permeated in us as in our community forever. We don't believe that so hard to where it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it becomes a stereotype because everybody that got money, some real money, that's the first thing they run to. Okay. And it's not to say that it's wrong. It's just that it perpetuates this whole idea of all my kinfolk ain't my kinfolk. You know, and we do that to ourselves. We do it to us. You know, and if we keep that wheel going and then get mad because the car is moving and then you don't accelerate it. Well, shit, get your foot off the gas. Put the car in park. Okay. You got to get out the piece sometime if you're on the road trip. Come on and stop at the rest stop. Okay. Or something, you know. And that there is, this is where I am with the situation, because I know for me, and then I could go into the gay thing too, because, you know, on the gay side of it and carrying on, that there has just become a whole fucking tyrannical ploy to where it is ridiculous. And then trying to stand up and say that I am me and this is who I am. And then because I'm successful, or because when I had my white boyfriend, here you go. Okay, what, black wasn't good enough for you? Nigga, listen, let me tell you something about the motherfucking black man and me. Okay? At the time, child, this one was a crackhead and stole all my goddamn money. Can I try over here because this one at least said something cute and got my attention? It didn't work out. But okay, can I at least explore my options? Because I say I'm looking for love, and I didn't ask for it to come in, you know, in the specific passage. I asked for love to come, genuine love to come my way, and I didn't limit it. So why am I being punished by the children or the black children because I'm black? Because I let my options be open. And you don't have the fortitude to do that, or you choose not to do that. Not to say that that's right or wrong, but how come your wrong or your right is my wrong?
You know, I've always looked at relationships and the color of anybody's husband or wife or significant other this way. If you watch the kids at Christmas, they come down to the tree.
Yeah.
There's all kind of boxes there. They go for the big one first. They open it up. That's not really what they wanted, but they're happy. Then they go to the one with this color wrapping paper. They open that up. It's not what they wanted. Then they go to that little ugly box, just maybe a brown shopping bag paper over it.
Right.
And I guess I'll open that one up, and it's everything they need. You know, so I say that to say, I think that when it comes to relationships, so many people, Lord, send me the right man. God, I need a good woman. I need this. They're all over Facebook. You know, you can't, as long as you get the gift, but you won't open it because you don't like the color of the wrapping paper, you're never going to be blessed. And that's the problem with this. We won't open the gift because we don't like the wrapping paper, but that gift is everything you need. You know, people can look at my wife and go, well, Stan got her. She's a trophy wife. She's this and that. You know, she is who she is. And, you know, it's as a black man, and particularly what I do, I mean, she's my wife. I don't look at her. She's not my white wife. She's just my wife, you know.
Right.
But what people don't know is you do have a degree, and you knew going into this that life is going to be tougher than if my wife would have been black. Now, that's the other side that people don't talk about, you know. And it's not like I'm losing everything because she lost a lot marrying me because I'm no day at the beach. But she lost a lot of people marrying me. So, you know, it's all about what you do with it. And we have fun. You know, when we first got married, and we had a house Texas had upstairs and downstairs, you know. And I told her, I said, now look, until I get used to this, we living together now and we're married. You know, because I work nights, so usually I'll be up 2 or 3 in the morning. I said, if you get up and go get a glass of water out the kitchen or something, make some noise. Because until I get used to you, if I see this white figure moving throughout the house, I might run through the glass window trying to get out.
Okay, you stupid. But that's real. But that's real. Now, let's look at this. All my skin folk ain't my kinfolk, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go. What about in the learning process? Okay, we're learning one another, and how is it that when black folks accept white folks into the fold because they cool, you get white folks that know, they speak, they know the hip language and this, that, and the other, blah, blah. They know the handshake, they know the latest music and all that. They know our culture. Why is it always a problem when it goes the reverse? If you start to learn their culture, then all of a sudden it becomes a mishap. Okay, I know, and I've gotten away from it a lot because of the circles that I'm in. But I do speak pretty well. But if y'all like my speaking now, y'all miss the days. They're coming back though. Okay, where I wanted everything to be immaculate. Okay, and I made sure I wasn't using a lot of slang back in the day, and I made sure all of my T's and all of the consonants and every syllable of the word was spoken. There was never broken this, that, and the others. And I was always told that I'm talking white. Even when I cuss, they told me, "Oh, you don't cuss right." You mean I don't cuss right? Okay, but because of that, anytime we as blacks or anybody else or people of color, when you start to learn of their culture, of the mainstream culture, it becomes a problem to where now you become the sellout. Okay, because well, you just doing that trying to get ahead. No, I'm doing this because I've learned something. Okay, and I found a better way to communicate versus this, that, and the other. I still know how to come over here with y'all, but y'all don't want to accept all of me. Okay, but the white person could denounce all of their shit. They could denounce all of that. Okay, watercress sandwiches and shit. They could denounce all of that. As long as they're coming over here to the cookout, you got an invitation to the cookout, and we don't taught you how to make the potato salad the right way.
Because that's the first question though at the cookout is who made the potato salad.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the first one, or you looking at it, you like raisins. What these raisins doing there? But oh yeah.
I think that it's crazy to scream for racial equality, justice equality, and then call someone a racist traitor for dating, marrying outside of their skin color. The end goal is to be human, the human race, right? Okay, Amy. Okay,
drop the mic.
Okay, I believe you can date or marry or have friends outside of the race. It's still still be conscious of our plight. You know what? And that's it. Because folks like Umar, the radical power to the people children, they feel as though that if you do that you are selling out. You can't be all black because you're not uplifted the black queen. And every time I hear Umar Johnson say that, I get into, well, I don't, but everybody else does put his personal on blast. Bitch, you got 2 kids that ain't married neither one of your baby mamas. So what the hell are you talking about?
Well, I just look at it this way. With he makes some good points sometime, but that deep dive culture that way. I just say this: if you believe in all that to that degree, and somehow I'm not black enough for you, then I can understand you, but I shouldn't be able to understand you because you happen to be speaking to me in English, which is not your native language. So if you can tell me your native language and speak that to me, then you're black enough for me. Okay. So assimilation is necessary for success. And if you can assimilate when I moved from Texas to Georgia, I'm not the same as I was in Texas.
Right.
When I left Pennsylvania and moved to Texas, so assimilating to a point where you can survive and function and move around and understanding environment, that's human nature. That is built into us.
Yeah.
But if you're so pro-black, sit down at home with your children and teach them black history. And then when you start learning black history, there are certain white folks that you have to go through to get to some of these black folks that opened the door. So let's teach all the history. Now, Harriet Tubman carried a gun.
Right.
She didn't have that gun for slave catchers.
Right.
That gun was for the I'ma go tell it.
Right. That's
What's
right.
that song?
And
down by the riverside, down by the riverside. That was how we communicated. But there was always one who would go, they finna run tonight.
Uh-huh.
You know? So, let's just sit there and hit it. If we spend more time being human, let's have human rights first. Once America gets to an understanding of human rights,
right,
then we seem to understand in everybody else's country. We can't wait to down somebody else's country. But once we see people as humans here, and how do we know when we get there? You don't have more homeless than you got homes. You don't have more hungry people that you see digging in dumpsters.
Oh,
with jackets on. They say veteran. But you're telling me I support the troops. We love our troops. You supported them until they left that leg over there in the desert.
Right.
So they came back with something Billy Graham can't play out.
How about that?
They're eating in dumpsters. They're sleeping in parks. They're making a VA appointment that it takes them 6 months to get into. They're dead before they get there. They're committing suicide at an alarming rate. We make those conditions, but we love the troops. Those are human rights conditions. That's right. Human rights don't coexist with capitalism. Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
I never understood the potato salad thing until it dawned on me that my stepmom, who raised me as Filipino, and made kick-ass potato salad. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, honey, I'm gonna put a wrap on this right here because, child, this is one of those subjects that I have to soul search because I don't want to come across as the people who I'm talking about, and want to just throw labels out there. At the same time, I really want us to get our shit together because, see, one of the things I have learned about this world, honey, is that one of the keys that we have to learn is that everything about this is about perfect balance. Everything is about balance because that's why we have polar opposites. The polar opposites exist. If they come together, they will cancel each other out. Light and dark can't exist at the same time. So, and if they come together, they cancel out. It doesn't exist. Okay, positive and negative. How many times y'all have done that? If they come together, they can't coexist. I mean, they cancel each other out. Okay, y'all done that on the battery before. You put the positive on the negative, that shit blow the fuck up, don't it? It cancels out. Okay. Okay. So one of the things that we have to learn is just perfect balance. Everything is in balance. If it's off a hair, it throws off the balance. And that's the tricky part of life. And here, as African Americans or people of color or black folk or whatever name we're gonna call ourselves, ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves. I hate that term. Okay. We have to look at us and get it together with all of what we have. If you don't fuck with somebody, just don't fuck with them. But let's not be so quick to throw them away because remember, that's part of what we're fighting for. Aren't we saying that mainstream now threw us away? Aren't we saying that we need reparations because mainstream now threw us away? So why is it that we didn't get the power or have a privilege to say, oh, you ain't black enough no more. You ain't down with the community. We taking your black card from you. And we telling white folks, I can't do this. I can't change my skin tone. Okay. So we have to look at that when we're sitting up there protesting. And I'm going to say that to the Caucasian children too. Don't get mad at those who embrace society. And because they're not sitting up there saying that they're supremacists or whatever, they say that God is love. They actually take on the principles of what you say the world is. Or here in America, we say life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And there are Caucasian folks who embrace everybody. We are a land of immigrants, honey. Everybody that came over here from somebody else, except for the natives that were already here. Everybody that came from somewhere. So how is it that we don't embrace everybody's culture? We have to find that balance. And I'm going to do some soul searching because I tell y'all, this particular thing here gets on my nerves. Okay. So there was that, honey. Listen, you may finish all of your crumpets, my darling, because the tea has been dished, baby. And you've been dishing tea, darlings. How? With who? Big Meat. We had Aunt Nikki come up in here And our special guest today was Mr. Stan Mason. Honey, Stan, tell them where they can find you before we get up out of here.
StanMason.com, on Facebook, Stan Mason. Behind the Blue Curtain, the show is every Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central, 11 on the East Coast. You know, we hit all the topics on police reform, race relations. We come in there hard, and we get some killer guests that come in there. So we go at it hard.
Okay. And so with that being said, babies, listen, honey, if you love me, tell all your friends, honey. If you hate me, well, tell all your damn enemies. But do know this, one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that we're doing over here will what? Move forward. So until the next time, my darling, tomorrow is a Sunday, so we're having Inspirational Soul Sundays. I got to figure out what I'm going to do to motivate and stimulate you on a Sunday, honey. It'll come to me spiritually. And then we'll do that. So on the next go-around, honey, we're going to make this all happen, okay? So, my darling, that there is that. And... and what? Sing. Wait a minute. Okay.